Hello, I'm here to show you a update to the detector manager, or rather the system with the detector manager. So in the past we have had the detector manager and that's it. Now we have different detectors. We have the detector manager and a few different ones. I'm going to introduce them and show what they do, but before we start with that, I'm going to show you all the new recipes. So we have multiple blocks now, so therefore we need multiple recipes. You want to start with the base. The base is 4 cobblestones in the corner, a pressure plate at the top, a simple PCB in the middle, two irons, one at each side, and then a piece of redstone at the bottom. That's going to give us the detector unit like that. And that's one of the 4 different blocks. That's the base block, and you can upgrade it to 3 different things. Since I'm in creative mode, I can simply grab a stack of those because we need those in the other recipes. So first of all, I'm going to make the old detector manager, and that's simply the unit with a simple PCB on top, and that's going to give us the detector manager, which you should recognize. There we go. To make the other things, we also need a detector unit like that. So a detector unit, a simple PCB on the bottom, and cover it with iron at the top, like that. And that's going to give us the detector station, like that. So it looks similarly to the detector manager, but it's slightly different. Its functionality is also slightly different. That's the point. And finally, we can get another one by using the unit there, the simple PCB, redstone at the side, and redstone torches at the top, like that. And that's going to give us the detector junction, like that. And if we place these guys in the world, we can see that they all look different, like so, but it's still look a bit similar, and if we open them all, they will be quite familiar as well, because this is exactly what we had in the old detector manager, and the detector manager also has it. So all of these guys look exactly the same in the interfaces, apart from their names, of course, but there we go. So before we start taking a look on the detector station, detector junction, which are the new ones, I want to take a look at the detector manager and what we can use this base unit for. So let's get going with that. So first of all, that one there, detector manager, and then a simple straight line of track here, like this. There we go, and then I'm going to grab some redstone so I can use that to see if we get an output signal or not. Just like that to show us, and we're not going to use the redstone signal for anything. Okay, so what do I want to look for? Well, I could look for the mechanical pig. That seems like a good idea because I have a cart here with a mechanical pig as the whole. So let's send that along, and there we go. It's going to activate and turn red. I guess it was red before, but you know, it's activating the redstone. Okay, if I send another cart, of course it's not going to light up, just like the detector manager has worked all the time. So it's still working like it has before, but we also have these redirectors from before, but nowadays they are called units. So we have the top unit, the bottom unit, north unit, and so on, because I got some feedback about the name redirectors, and people seem to think that the name was a bit confusing. So I hope this is better. Just give me feedback what you think. So now they are called north unit and so on. And if we take a look, we can see that that's the blue side, so therefore I want to use the south unit here if I want to use it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's look for the mechanical pig like before, but we also want to take a look at the south unit as well. So if we have a mechanical pig or the side unit, then this logical tree should evaluate to true, and therefore I'll put a redstone signal. So what do we do? Well, from before we know that we used detector manager to sort of add something else here. So maybe we wanted a basic farmer. So therefore the mechanical pig has to be true, or if we have this thing here. So the reason we use this was, of course, if we wanted to build an advanced tree here, and then we could refer to it here. So to make even more advanced things, or to actually reuse things. There we go. So if we have 2 tracks like this, we could put the advanced parts here in the middle, and the ones at the sides could simply refer to the middle one, and the middle one could do its things like that. But that's not really how we do it nowadays. We can still use the detector manager, that's totally fine, but what we sort of want to use is the detector unit, because the detector unit works like all the other ones, but it has no interaction with the cards. So to put a advanced detector rail on the top here, it's not going to give us any proper results at all. It's not going to do anything with the detector unit at the bottom. So the detector unit is the part that handles everything, all the logic gates and so on, and all the modules and so on. I'm going to use the standard hole here, whereas we can these guys can interact with the card, but they still have the part from the detector unit. So you can still use the detector manager as a unit here. You can actually use the detector station like so, or the detector junction as well, but it's recommended to use the detector unit, or if you want to, you can simply use the detector unit as a well, as the way of upgrading. That's the only thing. Or you can use it for both upgrading and using it like this. Right, so standard hull here. So now if I do it like this, if I send a mechanical pig, that's going to output a redstone signal. Or if I set this one, it's also going to output a redstone signal, just because that's a standard hull, and that's what we're looking for here. Right, so as you can see, it works like before, but now we can use the base here as the units here. And I hope people thought it was a bit confusing that you just used detector managers before as well, so you just had a lot of here, like which one would send out a redstone signal and so on. So I hope it's a bit less confusing now. Please give me feedback on that as well, so you can use these guys instead to specifically show that this is just a detector unit connected to the actual manager here. Okay, so that's the manager, works like before, but let's take a look at the detector station. Right, so I'm just going to make a short track here, like so, and then what we can do is go into states and take the is power observer red active, like so, and then I'm going to add it here, and there you go. So if you don't know what the power observer is, it's basically going to turn these buttons here green if the engines I put here. As we can see, we only have one engine, and that's because this card only has one engine. But if all the engines together has a power level of what I specified here, 1K, then it's going to turn green. And let's take a look on this, and that went away. So the detector station has its tree as anyone else, any of these detectors, but what it does is it stops the card as long as the condition is false. As soon as the condition is true, it senses all along. So when we reached 1K of power, this one turned green, and you can detect those power observer settings through these states here, these four here. And therefore we saw that, alright, now the red state is active, and therefore the detector station activated and sent the cart along. Of course, you can make advanced trees here as well, because this is something that is built from the detector unit. So if we wanted to, we can of course add more advanced logic there as well. Maybe we wanted 2 tracks here to stop 2 cards, but we wanted the logic behind that to be exactly the same. Then we would put the major logic here and then simply refer to it through these detector stations. So we wouldn't have to update both if we wanted to do something, some differences there. So that's that one. We can have well, solar panel. That's a very good example. But another good example is actually the has player passenger. I like that one as well. So if we put it there, it's going to send us well, evaluate to true if we have a player in the card. So for instance, if it would be a detector manager, it would send out the redstone signal when we detected a player. But this is of course the station, and therefore if we send this along here, it's going to stop. There's no player in the card. What happens if we change that? Well, then it's going to evaluate it true and send the cart along. So if I jump into the cart, we're going to go like that. And you can simply do that and make it more advanced to check for other things as well. Maybe you want to check that we have some fuel and, you know, things like that. So the detector station is going to stop the card as long as the logic tree is evaluating to false, but as soon as it goes through, it's going to send the card along. Right, so detector junction as well is the last block here. So as you might hear from the name, what we want to do is create a junction here, like that. There we go. What we want to do now is send along a card here. Whoops. When we have actually set this. So what I'm going to look for this time is a seat, I guess, like that. And there you go. And the seat went there. And if I send a mechanical pig, which has no seat, it's going there. If I send a one with a seat, it's going there. So as you can see, the junction there is going to be affected by the logic tree here, and it works like any other logic tree. So of course we can add these guys here, or we can just make, well, big trees and check for multiple things. But what it does is something you could achieve before by just combining the detector manager in the front here, and then a normal junction there and some redstone. But now you can do it in just one block like this. Set it up to make junctions in a very easy way. You just say, all right, which ones should go to the left, which ones should go to the right, and so on. And that's pretty much it. So we have the detector unit, which can be used to well, extend the logic trees. It can't interact with the cards directly, but it can interact with other detector units or any upgrades of detector units, which we have seen are the detector manager, the detector station, and the detector junction. We've seen the detector manager in the past. That's the old thing that emits a redstone signal. The station sends along the card but stops it otherwise. That's the only one that actually stops the card. And then we have the detector junction that is going to be sending cards in different directions depending on the evaluated value, like we just saw here with the mechanical pig and the seed card. But that's pretty much it for now. Thank you all for watching.